Alright, welcome to the video. This is the second video in the series about building a note sharing app with social authentication using Nuxt and Strapi. And here's a future overview. You should be able to create notes, read notes, update notes, delete notes, create a user account, and log in and log out of your notes app. Then preview notes, so you can share a preview of your notes. You can share the preview via email. Other users can request edit access to your note via email as well, and you can add them as collaborators to your note so they can update or edit your note. At the end of this series, we'll have a demo video as well as links to the demo video. So in today's video, or this time's video, I'll scroll down to, in the previous video we ended at creating an individual note page, and we managed to prove that all was working when we had set up our Strapi. Now we want to add the ability to create notes. We want to add the ability to back again. So in today's video, like I said yesterday, we ended at viewing an individual note. Now we want to create notes. So for the process of creating a note, it will involve, we'll use Nuxt server-side rendering. So we will have one path for creating notes, another path for confirming, which is like a success or failure. So it's a confirmation whether or not the note has been created, and a third path which will be to view the created note itself. We have already created that path, of course. So yeah, so then the link to the create note page or path should be available right underneath the notes list page. So once a user clicks the button to create a note, that should lead them to the create note page, and then within the create note page there should be two form text inputs. The first form text input is for the title, and the second one is for the content or the body of the note. Then right below the two form text inputs is a create note button right below the form inputs, and once the user clicks the button, it should lead them to the created note page where they can confirm whether or not the created note, the note creation process was successful or not. So within the created note page or the confirmation page, the user should be able to see whether or not the note was created. If the note was created successfully, then a message appears saying note creation successful, and click here to view the note, which is the link to the created note. Then if the note creation failed, a message confirming the failure. So maybe there'll be a try again link, which returns the user to the create note page where they can try to create the note again. So what I'm going to do right about now, I've launched the server where Strapi, I've not launched the server yet, but I am in the code space where my source code is right here. And what I'll do now, inside the pages /notes directory, I will add a new file, and I'll call that new file create.view, and I've created the new file. So next I will add some code to the create.view. This is the form input. This is just basic HTML. So we'll have template and /template. Right, nice. Then inside the template tags we'll have an h1 This is a Notes app, and an H2. This is the title of the page, so it's a create a new note page, and we'll include a form action. What is the form action? We will submit to a route. This is a server-side route. We'll explain that later. We'll create that one later. API/notes/create, and the method is going to be a post. Post is an HTTP method that we'll use. It'll post the form data for us in the body, and we'll have a div, one div for the label, and this is for the title. So this is for the title. So we include label for title. Ooh, okay. Autocomplete. Yes, so we include the label for the title, and we say title there. Next, we'll have another input for the title. Now, this is the form field where users will enter the text for the title. So it would have to include a name attribute. This is for server-side processing. It's needed, and an ID of title, and we're going to say required, so that you can't submit the form unless the information is filled in. The next text form input we are going to deal with is the content for the body. This is a text area form input that we're going to use for, and we'll say content. So we will say content here, put it out, semicolon, and include a text area with the name equal to content as well. This is used by the method at this internal API for Nuxt. Okay, and the ID is going to be content as well. So this too will be a required form input. So the text can't be sent without it being filled in. Okay, made a mistake. There's closing tag for text area. So I made a mistake. I think that's good. Yes, I think this is good. Why is it indicating an error? Oh, I put a closing tag inside. All right, next what we'll do is put a button below the text area input. This is for submitting the form, and right, we'll put in create note. So that's the text that will appear, create note. Once you click this button, the form will be submitted to the Nuxt internal API. Next, so let's go ahead. We've created the file. To make the form above work, we need to create a server handler. Like we said, this is the Nuxt internal API route for handling creating nodes. So it's going to be under the path server/API/nodes/create.post.js. So it will pass the incoming form data using read body and format the data, so it will be wrapped into a structure that Strapi expects, because Strapi expects a data in the JSON format, expects a data, the text data outside the title or the form data, and we are going to use fetch, $fetch. This is the internal Nuxt composable that is used to send data to the Strapi endpoint, and the Strapi endpoint we are going to use is the localhost 1337/API/notes. So what this internal API will do after receiving the form data and sending it to Strapi it'll also handle the redirect, because once the form data is sent, a response is given by the Strapi server. So on success, the Nuxt server route should issue a 302 HTTP status code for redirect and redirect the user to the notes/created route, which is a route we will create after we create the internal API. And so the document ID of the newly created note. So once you create a note in Strapi, there's a document ID parameter, and so we will append this document ID as a query parameter so that the success page knows what to display. So for example, this is the method send redirect, right? Event notes/created, which is the one we will append the status. So we will append the status and the document ID from the response we got after posting the note. So on failure, which means there is nothing, the server didn't give us anything, we will be redirected to /notes/created status equals error. So we will handle that logic inside the confirmation page for node creation success. So what we'll do now is create the server/server API inside the front end folder. So we say make dir-p server/API/notes. Okay, and we are going to create the file create.post.js inside the server/API/notes directory. So we'll copy this code to create the create.post.js, and we've created it. Next, we will add the code or the logic for the create.post.js file. So first, before we move on, we have to add some things to source control. Okay, what we will do now is say commit the following message to source control, which is why we created the create.view file. So we'll just add this setup create flow, right click, copy, and paste it in. Next, we will copy this, so this will make reading our commit messages easier, and we should associate the changes with the notes and commit this file. Then right, once we have committed, next we continue with what we're doing before and work on the internal API route for the server-side code. And next I'll open create.post.js, and inside create.post.js I will type in the code, and we are saying export default define event handler, and we're saying async event. So we pass in the async event, and okay, next what we'll do is read form data. So this is the part of the event handler that will read form data sent from the browser. So what we'll be saying, const body equal to await read body event. So this is the event handler. So we are passing the form data to body, that variable body. So let's put in a try catch close for error handling. So what we're saying, we're going to try to send data to the Strapi server, right? And we're saying const Strapi response. So we'll pass in await. So we'll await the fetch composable to do its thing. HTTP. So we enter the URL of our Strapi server. Since we're coding locally, it's just localhost 1337/API/notes API/notes. And what are we saying next? All right, sorry. Okay, we are good to go. Okay, we are going to fetch. Okay, so this is needed for us to create notes. And what is the method? We're going to use the post method. Next, we are going to pass in the data from the form, from the form data we got from the browser, and we're going to prepare it like this with title, which will just be body.title. This is form data, and content will be just body.content. All right, so this will handle sending the data to Strapi. Next, let's handle the response now. So we start off with successful. If it is successful enough in creating the post, so this will mean that we got a positive response. And if Strapi response.data, and we got some data there, const note ID equal to Strapi. So we'll pass the response to a variable called note ID. So we're getting the document ID. So we're going to say document ID from the response, pass it to const note.id, and then we return what? Send redirect. So this is event. Remember the redirect method earlier? So we're going to redirect the user to the confirmation page, confirm that we have successfully created a note, and we'll pass in the success status as well as the value for the document ID, which is simply note ID. So let's put in note ID, which is that variable we declared earlier. And what's the next step? We need to handle failure. So what if no data is returned? So we need a fallback for that. Fallback if no data returned. What does that mean? We return a send redirect event and say /notes/created success equal to 0, meaning success was we failed to create a node, nothing was returned, so it'll just return, it'll show in the confirmation page, it'll show the error HTML. So next we'll catch an error as well, which is another way failure can occur. So we'll say handle error, and say console.error. So we'll return something to the console, say failed to create a note, and we pass in the error code as well. So we have to pass in the error code as well. Right, and what else? What else could there be? We return. We have to redirect the user to the fail state once again. So we failed in creating, so we'll just say success is equals to 0 / created / success is equal to 0. And yes, we are done with the server API route, the internal server API route. So here's a summary of the flow. User fills out the form on pages /nodes /create.view. So the browser then posts the data to the internal API, which is API /nodes /create. Then the Nuxt server reformats the data and posts it to Strapi. Strapi responds with JSON to Nuxt server, and Nuxt server, based on the JSON, will redirect to pages nodes /created /view. And next we now create the confirmation page, which is just pages /nodes so we'll say touch. We copy the code for creating the page and copy that, and Control V, enter that. We've created the page. Next we'll open, wait a minute, we need to send some information, commit some message to source control. So create.post.js, we stage that change, and when we stage that change, we have to add in the commit message, which is create Nuxt internal API route for handling create notes. So Control V that and commit it. Voila, it's gone. It's gone. Right. Right. Why isn't that message appearing? So we say git push. Let's push the changes we've made so far. Or should we? Push it, git push. Allow. Okay, we have pushed the changes we made to the remote repository. Next, we have created .view. This is the confirmation page. Once again, if you don't remember, this will confirm whether or not we successfully created a node. So now inside the created.view file, we'll add the following code. So inside this file, recording, we're back again. So we are now creating the confirmation page where we'll confirm whether or not the node was created, and the following code. So we'll use script setup side skip. We'll create a new route using the use route composable, and const. We'll check the success status. Is it successful or not? If it is successful, then the success will be equal to 1. 1. And if it's any other value, then we were not successful. And root.query.id .id. So we will pass in the document ID as well. The document ID is required so that we can generate the link to view the note. So inside the template, we'll add in the HTML. So we'll add the title. This is the Notes app. The next thing we will do is check the success state, and this is for checking whether it was successful. So we're saying div v if it is successful, what do? we tell you that it's successful, not created successfully. Okay, you should know that. And we add in a paragraph for emphasis. So we say your note has been saved to the database. Okay, that's successful. So what else do we give you? We have to give you the link as well, right? So here we go. Let's give you the link to the individual note using the ID from the query. So this is the document ID of the note from the query parameter. And what do we do next? We say we use Nuxt link, and we link it to where are we linking this to? We are linking it to /notes, which is the route for the created note, where someone can view the created note. And wait a second, we need to do a few things. We need to add in backticks so that we can add in the variable, since the document ID is a variable. So we say note ID. All right, next thing we are going to do is close that tag there and add a button for you to click to view the note you just created. Okay, and that is that. Next, we will just add in a link to, what's this link to? The notes list, of course. We have to link it to the notes list. Yes, and we say back to notes list. Okay, that's done. We have checked the successful. What if it fails? What if the note creation process fails? Even if it fails, we need to handle that. So we use velse. And here's how we do it. We're gonna say div. We're gonna wrap it in a div. And what else are we saying? Okay, yeah, this works. Okay, a div, and we say velse. Else this process was unsuccessful, and say note creation failed. Note creation failed. Suck, what a bummer. And P, there was I need to discipline my fingers. Okay, there was an error creating your note. Please try again. Oh man. So the next thing we do, we give you a link so that you try to create the note again, and say we're gonna link you to where are we gonna link you to? The notes creation page, so that you can try creating a note again. And we will include a button and say try again. All right, of course we will include the link to back to notes list. Let's just copy that, right click, copy. We need to copy that as well. Yeah, so we're going to return you back to the notes list, and that's done. Oh, we need to close the yes, we need to close the template tag, and that's it for the created view. So what's gonna happen? This page is rendered on the server. Nuxt looks at the URL, right, and retrieves the value of the success variable as well as the value of the ID. So for example, if the URL is success is equal to 1 and ID is equal to ABC1234, the root query success will be 1 and the root query ID will be ABC. So the if code block evaluates the status of the isSuccess variable. So if it's true, this is the successful part, we'll generate the HTML containing the success headers. So successfully display, and the failure state div will not appear. And the reverse for the false. If this isSuccess is a false flag, then the server will just generate the HTML just for the failure code and the try again button. So before we test out this code, we first need to commit what we just did to source. So we're gonna say we created the page to view node creation status. Okay, so copy that, paste that, and commit. Did we commit? Yes, we did, and we're gonna sync the changes nicely. There we go. Right, back to this. So we need to update the index where we see the list of notes. We need to update it as instructed. We need to add a link to create a new note under the list of notes inside the notes list page. So we're going to add, okay, wait a second. What we're going to do now is just simply say view word wrap. Okay, yes, hope it changes. And so we're going to go right below the list of notes. So notes app, notes list. Okay, right below that, and we say link to create a new note. So Nuxt link to slash notes slash create, and we are going to add a button. Inside this button, we're going to add the text create a new note. There we go. That's it. And time for testing. Time to test our code. So we will have to run both the front end server and the back end server. So I'm going to run the Nuxt front end server. So I'm going to say npm run what is happening here, div. Okay, and we're good. Are we good? It's running. Yeah, I'm sure it's running. Oh, okay, we recommend compatibility mode. Okay, we'll check it out if it becomes a concern. The next thing we're going to do is run the Strapi server. So we will move into the backend folder. So cd backend, and inside the backend folder, we will run the Strapi server, npm run develop. We run that command, and the Strapi server is about to start. Is it? I think it's started. We'll check again. Right. Yes. Okay. It's loading. And yo. So we need to just, since we're using a code space, we need to port forward Strapi's ports. So we're gonna port forward 5173 for write, and say yes, enter, and wait for it. Yes, the ports are being forwarded, and here as well we're gonna need to forward the ports, and wait for it, enter. Yes, 5 4 3 2 1. We're good to go, and we're rolling. Now we can check out the front end and open the port 4, which is port 3000. If you're using a local machine, it's localhost 3000, but I'm using a code space, so it's automatically generated URL. So we're gonna wait. Excuse me for that. make sure your Strapi server is running, then visit localhost slash. Okay, wait a second, what's happening here? We need to make sure it's opening, connecting to the forwarded port. All right, code space off. Internal error. What? Why is it having an error? Method accept localhost 3000. I don't know why it's having an error. We have to check the terminal. All right, we have an error in our code. Invalid regular expression flag. Where do we have an invalid regular expression flag? Where are we having a regular expression error? Okay, frame, there was an error creating your node, please try again. So this has to be the server-side code. And the error, where's the error? Console error. Next link to notes create. There was an error. Oh, it's the created view. Next link. Oh, we we missed out a column there, so we just need to fix that, and I think we're good, unless I'm mistaken. Is there anything else? Slash notes. Oh, why is there an error this time? Is there an error this time? Okay, we'll test it out again and confirm if there's an error. Once again, there's another error. Input status message. Request bug-free code. Right, there's another error. I think it relates to the Nuxt link. Where's the error? Where's the error? Let's check the terminal. And Nuxt link to try again. Slash node slash create. Let's pause this. I'm back. We had a few syntax errors there, but it just fixed there. It's just the next link. But yeah, the front end server is now loaded, so we can click here to view the notes, and as you can see, we have the list of notes, so everything is working as expected. What's the next thing we are supposed to do? What is the next thing we are supposed to do? After, let's just fix a few things here. So we are going to say that inside index.view, we are going to add a space, some spaces here, just to make it look neat and tidy, like that. And yeah, so yeah, that's or yeah, so oh, we will just put this above. This has to go above the back to home link, because it can't be below. No, it can't be below. It can't be below as suggested by this. So we will paste it above the yes, and cut that and paste it below So this will work better. I'll just show you in a sec how that will look like. This makes semantic sense. So because you can view a node, then you create a new node. Then if you don't want to do any of that, you can just go back to home. And yes, so let's take a screenshot of this quickly. And yeah, so this is it. There we go. And we will save that. Updated, create a new node. We'll say updated, create a new node. This is the fourth image. So updated, what do we say? Create a new create node. So updated nodes list. This is updated nodes list, the fourth one. So we save that and we close this off. The next thing we will do is, well, make sure, so we have added the screenshot for the nodes. So we're at the nodes list. So you'll be directed. So we are going to click on the create a new node button. So there we go. I know it doesn't look neat, but it works. So we are going to enter a title and so we'll say this is the 7th node. So we'll say 0. I don't know. I don't remember what number node this is. So we just say 07 and say. We'll say 7, sorry, 7th node. This is the content for the 7th node. Full stop. So we're just gonna screenshot this first before we do anything. And yes. And we'll say create node Nuxt in Nuxt, create node in UI or whatever, create node in UI, create. So this is the 5th image. So we say 05, create node. So we're saying create. So what are we saying? We are using the UI to create a new node. So we'll say create a new node in UI and save that. Nice. Next thing we'll do is click on the create node button and wait for the server to do its thing. Node created successfully. Your node has been saved to the database. All right, nice. But okay, so node created successfully. Click view. So we say view created node button to view the created node. So we have to add another screenshot here. I think, yeah. And we'll add a screenshot for that as well. So what we'll do is add a screenshot. So we'll say created node in browser. So just say created node. So fix that later. Page where we see the link. So we just need to do one thing here. We go to the created view and we're gonna copy one break I just need one break. Right click, just need one break, and right, create. I hope it doesn't mess up, but okay. All right, for now we'll just leave it at that. So we'll just take a screenshot of this first. Node creation successful. Just say node creation successful. That's the title of the screenshot. So we say save this and node. So this is the 6th image. Node creation success, and save that. Next thing we'll do is click on to view the created node. So please make it happen, and not a poop. Didn't happen. So I don't know why it didn't happen, but it was supposed to happen. Let's inspect the code. So inspect it, and let's check out the body. Why isn't the body sending data to? And so unfortunately this is an error on my part. Unfortunately, as you can see, the route is /notes/undefined. So this needs to be handled. This was supposed to say node creation failed. So we need to revise the code. So we'll do that in the next video where we'll. So for now, thanks you for watching. We'll make sure we'll fix this in the next video. Thank you for watching. Hello, I'm back again. So in the previous video, we encountered an error in the node creation process. But I am sure now that the error will be resolved. This is because I made a mistake typing in the script setup. I said const node ID is equals to route.query.node ID instead of route.query.id, because if you check the server handling logic, it says ID, right? It retrieves the ID, and the ID is node ID, right? So this is what we should have supposed to use. The name of the parameter is ID, not node ID. So I fixed that error. Now what we're going to do is start the Strapi server again, right? So I'm going to start the Strapi server again, and there we go. The Strapi server has started. Next, I'll start the Nuxt front end server. So I'll say npm run. I have to go into the front end folder first, then say npm run div, and wait for the Nuxt server to start. While those are getting set up, next thing I will do is connect to the ports via SSH, and I've connected to Strapi's port. Next thing I will do is open the front end, the Nuxt front end. So let's wait while it loads up and confirm if okay. We have to try that again, and it has loaded successfully. Now that it has loaded successfully, the next thing that we will do is click to view the nodes. When we click on view nodes, Next, we will click on create a new note. So this one is a new note, so we'll say this is note number 8, and this is the 8th note. This is the content for the 8th note. Then we will click on create note and wait for the response. So it has created successfully. Now for us to check whether or not it has worked, we can inspect and click on body, then div, then success state, then div. As you can see, it has created successfully. It managed to retrieve the document ID for the created note, so everything is working perfectly. The next thing we will do is click on view created note. This is, and as expected, we have created the 8th note. So let's just take a screenshot of that and say created note. So we save it as created note, and this is the 7th image, and we say created note, and we save that, and we're done with that. Oh, we made a mistake. I'll have to retrieve the windows I just closed. Restore window. As the window is restoring, yes, so we just wait for a second and everything is back to normal. Back to normal. Now we have created a note and we have managed to render. Now we need to check the notes list page to see if the notes list has been updated as well. The notes list has to be updated as well, just for viewing. But yeah, so we will right, okay, we can click on back to notes lists, and yes, there we go. The notes list has been updated as expected. So yeah, I guess we'll stop here. The next video we'll check out how to update a node. So updating a node will involve adding an edit button right below this, and it will take us to the page where we can edit a note. So see you in the next video. So stop recording.